morning. Let's do a couple updates first. There are a few neat papers that appeared over the weekend and today, and these are all preprints, so they're not fully published yet. So some things about these may change, but usually, if the work's well done, and the ones I'm picking out are ones where I think the work is reasonably done, and those do tend to get published. They don't tend to change that much, but till it's published, it's not official. First one is a paper from, looks like maybe a Japanese group. And it's saying that, so SARS has these things called non-structural proteins at the one end. And they are mostly there to either shut down parts of the cell or to copy the virus or to build this sort of factory that the virus gets copied in. That's, general consensus. Then after those, they have what we call the structural proteins, which are the ones that actually make the little SARS virion, that little thing with spikes sticking out of it. So, okay, we got those. And together that is something like 20 proteins. And then there are something like 10. I mean, you could count more if you go with these small ones that we're not sure if they're quite real or not. You could count fewer for sure if you only go with the big ones. But neighborhood of 10 other things, and these are called accessory proteins. And in other coronaviruses, from what we know, you can knock these out, and the virus actually is able to grow okay, but usually the virus won't cause quite as much disease. So they seem to be what are called virulence factors, things that make the virus a little bit more dangerous, or probably think of them as things that adapt the virus and make it better at growing in a particular host. And so these are the ones that change when you look from one coronavirus to another. They'll just completely replace these accessories. It picks up and puts on and takes off accessories all the time. The sort of overall coronavirus genome is what I'm talking about there. So for SARS coronavirus, we knew a lot about the function of several of these. And among those are many proteins, actually many proteins, that seem to block a thing called the interferon response. And we know from other papers that I think I've covered in updates that the interferon response, type 1 and type 3 interferon, those are both pretty good at shutting down the virus, or at least limiting the amount of virus that can grow. This is a good sort of antiviral program that they would set off. And so you've got the virus that is stopped by interferon. So what's the virus going to do? Well, it's going to inhibit interferon, of course. Yeah. And these are also a very convenient test to run. It's kind of a low-tech test. You just put the thing that interferon turns on. It's called a promoter. And after that, you can put whatever gene you want, something like a green fluorescent protein or something that'll make a color or make an enzyme that you can read out pretty accurately. And if interferon is activated, then it will turn these things on, and instead of making whatever it's supposed to make for interferon, it'll make some of your fluorescent protein. That's the idea. So anyway, they did these tests, and with SARS coronavirus, they found that the protein called ORF3b, which is one of these accessories, one of these goofball accessories that we don't really know what it looks like. Don't know a whole lot about it. But the original SARS-3b blocked interferon, and so now there's a new test that says that the new SARS-3b also blocks interferon. And there were other tests in the past that showed that some of the other bat SARS-like coronaviruses had a 3b, and that also blocked interferon to different extents and in different hosts probably. So when I said that the new SARS coronavirus has all the same equipment as the old SARS coronavirus, this is what I'm talking about. Even the accessories seem to be the same, although the accessories change a bit. And there are some versions of the SARS coronavirus out there that have deleted the end of one accessory and all of another accessory. And so they're short 1.5 accessories, which probably means they've got 2 accessories that don't work. And that one seems to be spreading, but not spreading particularly widely. The idea is that it may be a little weaker, but there we go. So yeah, new SARS, a lot like the old SARS. There you go. One more example of how. Thanks very much. This is a Dr. Ben update.